Humpday, 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 Humpday. What is going on, baby? Get over the hump, baby. It's the Humpday Highlight Show with your boy Los. We got the main man Dean in the building.
Hump day, hump day, hump day, hump day. My
Yeah,
bad. I didn't
he
even.
was
You
he
could have
was a
gave me the
little late.
warning. You about to hit
He was a little
record.
late. You was a little late, man. You got to pick up the
What-
warnings on the show. Humpday
you
Highlight,
could have
man.
told me though before you hit record.
Well, you heard me. Either way, Hump Day Highlight Show. We back, man. New season, new installments. We got my boy Dean in here because nobody else want to do this shit with me. So I know Dean ain't gonna leave
That
me.
makes me feel good.
Dean
Awesome. Great.
ain't gonna leave me. You know what I'm saying? So I know at the end of the day, I bring.
It was everybody else I tried. They said no. So I was just like, yeah,
No,
D, just come on by.
not even that.
So.
You're just the most consistent. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And I know your time constraints already. So we got a good episode lined up for this for the season for this this episode right here in particular. And usually, I would go over some light sports stuff, make things half-hearted. We would go over some sports things and some clips, and we would laugh and have a good time, right? Today we have a huge topic that we need to address here. A couple of topics that we need to address, and we're trying to break the mold here on the Humpday Highlight Sports Show. So, what we have here today, first to even,
which I have no idea what's going on either.
Like, yeah, I know. As the on-air talent, you're not supposed to know. So,
we have other recordings, and you didn't even tell me. So I'm just here. I'm just here.
Yes,
this is great.
Yes. Oh, so, the first thing that I wanted to bring to light is, Josh Carvalho. Josh Carvalho is a 21-year-old Australian footballer, right?
Oh, the fellow who came out.
Yes, he came out.
Okay.
And he, he's the first, like they say, top performer, top line, the marquee guys, to come out in soccer, right? So you have all of the soccer world embracing him, coming behind him. You have some of the players in support of him. Some of the players might even come out themselves, right?
I don't know.
And that's what for me is like. I thought that when
I see why I'm invited on the show this week,
right? When Josh,
other niggas could have answered, but I see what it is. Okay,
when Josh,
smart producer. You got a smart producer there.
Not only that, but it's double-sided. You know what I mean? So, why don't you? Because to me, I felt like the first thing that would happen was everybody would be in support, and then I think that it would start a domino effect. You know what I mean? Like, it built the courage enough for everybody else to start.
Not really. And what I mean by that is this is like it's a journey, man. It's not something that you just have to do overnight. Like, you could see someone else do it and you could appreciate it, but then you also then got to look in, like, there's reasons why everyone hasn't done it themselves. Let it be their family, let it be themselves, let it be their environment. You know what I mean? Especially within sports. Let's call a spade a spade. Like, for instance, like, we look at Carl Nassib, right, out of the Raiders. Even when Michael Sam did it, that's a big deal, especially in football. And then also too, this is something that people don't talk about, but it's a conversation that has to be had, is the locker room as well. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I've shared locker rooms. People share locker rooms with me. Obviously at that time they didn't know I was batting for both teams, but still, it was still professional in the sense of, like, you go in there because after practice, the game, whatever the case may be, you're fucking tired. You want to just take the fucking shower, get the fuck out of there. Or it was like, after a game or something, you want to go get drinks. Your mind is on that shit. It's not on anything else. But that's a conversation that does have that does have to happen. That, especially if you're a professional, that all plays into all that kind of stuff. You're just like, well, fuck, like, what the fuck happens? You know what I mean? Like,
and for Josh, he's a young professional because he's only 21. You know what I mean? So it's
young,
and in an article with what is it? BBC. What is it? Is it BBC? BBC News, yeah. With BBC News, he said, "quote He's been fighting this for 6 years.
He's been
he's been fighting this for 6 years.
I can understand. I definitely I understand it. Listen, fuck, since shit, looking back on it, I can obviously say that there are things that showed me that I was on swinging on both sides of the fence since I was growing up. But something that you always hide it. But since I accepted it was probably like 15, maybe 14, something like that. You know what I mean? But I like to think 15. I think probably was like the official age. So you got to think about it. I think what come out, I was like 28 or 29 or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
Fucking like 14 years or something like that. 15,
Right.
like, you know what I mean? Depending.
Right.
Something like 14,
Right.
30, depending on when the shit actually was. But somewhere between
and
13, 15, like 13 to 14 years in between there. So for me to hear that he's going through it for 6, fuck, I understand it. And I, like I said, in regards to your earlier question, in regards to other people coming out, I don't think so. Because look at, I was trying to bring up the Carl Nassib Michael Sam thing because
you would think it'd be more likely for more footballers to come out.
Yeah, no, but then this shit don't get me wrong. In certain circles is accepted, certain circles is still not accepted, and people have the right to believe what they want to believe. I'm not here to try to change your belief on certain things. You know what I mean? Like, believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. I don't care. Because I can choke you out. Me personally. But excuse me. I think
when there's no violence on the Humpday Highlight Show, man. It's a good time.
Dean's brand is associated with verbal and, if you assault me, physical violence. So hey,
I forgot that was a slogan, right? I forgot.
The way my writer is set up. But yeah, so I definitely can understand it, and I definitely understand why more people haven't. It's not gonna be until this thing is like accepted wide mainstream that people aren't trying to dismantle it that people are gonna fucking be accepting of it. But then also too, that's gonna take a conversation of like, certain things within the LGBTQ plus community. I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just, whatever. The LGBTQ community, there's gonna be conversations too, just like chilling the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? But that's another conversation. That's another conversation for another day. So that's until we get to that point, we're not gonna have widespread people coming out. In sports, at least, maybe, or if it does happen in sports, football and basketball will be like some of the last two.
And do you think it's because of like hockey. it's ego based, because it's so heavy ego based?
Fuck yeah, ego based and fucking physicality. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a violent sport. This is a ultra masculine sport. And when you have such ultra masculine sport, you're gonna have certain kind of ideologies and thought process that come to it because only strong men play that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to belittle any of these men's intelligence or emotional capacity. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just stating there's gonna be certain ones of them. It's gonna be like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's me personally. I don't think shit will be widely like. Okay, just to backtrack on something I said earlier. I'll rephrase it. Here's one way that you got to have a badass motherfucker come out. Like, all right, Carl Nassib was a Michael Sam. Carl Nassib and Michael Sam. They both were really right foots in the right direction because they're linemen, D linemen. These are supposed tough guys. You know what I mean? These guys, fighting the trenches, they're bigger guys. Okay, that's good. But we need a star. Like, if there was a star or like a legit motherfucker,
like a quarterback.
No, not necessarily. It doesn't have to be a quarterback, but it just has to be a legit a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy within the sport world. It doesn't even matter what.
I would want to see a gay quarterback.
I'll reframe that. Really, I don't
because
it doesn't matter to
for
me.
that nothing. Like that quarterback center exchange is a little different. You know
something funny? Let's talk about that for a second. Because I actually have thoughts about that. Because honestly, I'll just be honest, and then I could be being a dickhead, but just when I look at what I've done at my size, I wonder, like, oh shit, if I was like 6'2" and like properly, like 2 and some change, like 290, 300 pounds, like what kind of could have happened, and could I have possibly made it? I like to think I could have. Who knows? But if I did, and let's say that, still end up coming out, like, and I was a center, because I did play center and guard and tackle, but most likely center and guard, what would have happened? What is that conversation? Because we're in the, because once again, we're in a professional environment, in the sense of, like I said, as long as I've known what I was, I've played sports, right? And I was actually one of the guys who I wasn't playing that shit, like, in the locker room. Like, don't don't bring that gay shit over here playing with it like I wasn't
But you
with
was
it.
it's
And people
crazy.
can vouch for it. I'm not gay. I'm bisexual. It's a difference.
Right, right,
But
right.
what I'm stating is that but you see what I'm saying? Like it's just certain things I wasn't with, right? I had a respect not only for myself, for my teammates, and shit else that we were there to do. It was like, listen, we're not here to do that. So don't bring it over here. You can go do that with that guy over there. He likes it, and I think it's weird that he likes it, but you can go ahead and do that over there. So if it was me, let's say in the league, I would understand where the question came from, but I would, me personally, I would have a real conversation with a quarterback. If I was a center and I'm saying we got a quarterback, I'm just gonna be yo, let's have a conversation. Because it's not like I came out immediately. It probably would have been the same thing if I was ever drafted. So it would have been after years. Listen, we've been playing together for years, and you would have never known because I'm a professional. Let's keep it as such. You see what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. Like sometimes people can move forward past that reveal, and then sometimes it lingers, and it just sometimes just affects people for no reason.
Then trade me.
You know what I'm saying?
Then
It's
trade
true.
me. I guess if especially if I'm that then trade me. Then you can trade me. You can get some good value. I can go somewhere that will have somebody who's a professional, and then I'm just know when I come back, I'm
and just
I'm beating niggas ass.
Just to get back to Josh though, because
I apologize for derailing the conversation.
No. You were still on track, but I think for him, I think that it was important for him to be treated.
Shout out and respect to him though.
Yeah, for him to at a young age to
he's got a lot more balls than I ever did.
Encompass that courage to be a testament to the whole culture.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Because he what he is like he's like, yo, I'm gay, but I'm also a footballer. Like, let it be that. I want to be treated fair, but I just want to let you know who I am.
Before you play the video, can I just explain something? And I guess because it's a conversation that a lot of a lot of heterosexual people will say that, like, well, who gives a fuck if he's gay? He's gay. Who nobody gives a fuck.
Right.
The issue is the fact that there's so much issue around it,
and his level, and he's top level. Like this is like one of the marquee guys.
There's a reason why that,
but marquee level, like he's playing professional.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just I don't know. To me, it's just a respect on the sense of fact that like people don't understand that like when you do this kind of shit, like you run risk of like ruining families
and money
and your own relationship. Like now, but let's take the money aside. Like I'm talking about like money in the world can't buy me the relationship with my families.
No, of course not.
So
it happens.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that like when I look at guys like that, I'm just like I just me personally. So I super duper respect it. You know what I mean? And then I guess too, everyone has their moment or has their, anyone who's in this world, in this life, they always have that moment, that thought, that one thing, that person maybe, that is just like, you know what, I can't keep doing this. You see what I'm saying? Like I gotta be who I am. I don't know what, who, when, where, why, or how that moment was for this brother, but hey, we all got it, and I just respect him for standing on it. You know what I mean? Because not only to lose, losing millions of dollars, that sucks. But to me, like no money in the world is worth like my family and then the relationship.
And not only that, but finding yourself, because he's said that he's been finding his sexuality for years. He's come home after games and practice and doesn't feel like he still feels at home. He still feels like he's wearing some kind of burden.
Yeah, because you can't be who the fuck you are. Like, listen, I trust me, man. I get it. It's a different kind of like now that like I'm out to the world, whatever the case may be. It's like a different kind of like burden lifted off of you, right? Like it's now I can I don't have a second thought of anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm out. I may have to go out and buy certain things for our activities at home or do certain things because like I'm the one going out to do groceries or whatever the case may be, or it's my turn, and there's no thought or like a second like whatever. I go to the store, I'm just like I go to the supermarket because you can get lube at a supermarket, and I've got my grocery cart and I may be in like another like I tried different supermarkets, and it's just like I'll go to the lady or the guy who's working like, yo, where's your lube at? They're like, new. I'm like, lube for sex. Like, where's it at? They're like, what do you like? They're looking at what do you need it for? Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Don't ask me like, just where does it have?
What do you mean? What I need it for? For sex? I just
Like
said
not
that
that, but they
already.
just kind of like give you that. They kind of give you that look, and it's kind of like heterosexual men can buy lube as well, but regardless, like it doesn't
That's what
matter.
I'm
Like it's just I'm just happen to be out here in these streets, so you know what I'm saying. Like we're not in these streets. I'm the streets of my household, and
Right.
we're one person.
We get it.
But,
We get it. We get it. We get it.
yeah, but you see what I mean? Like I don't know. I just like I understand what he means by just like not having your own skin. Like I've just in college it was the worst because I had a lot of fun in college, but it was like a lot of like playing a fence and like playing with the devil. And so then so I know what he means. Like when you're it's crazy when you go back, you have a good night out. I have to lose you motherfuckers. Then I got to make you motherfuckers think that I failed on something. I got to make you think I failed on something, which then means I have to actually go out to something to fail on it. But to know, yeah, bro, I was crazy in my head because I can't leave motherfuckers around, so I got to go, whatever, fail with this because I already have what I really am going to do lined up. That's already lined up, locked and loaded, ready to go. And that's been ready to go. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, absolutely. And that would happen a lot. But then you got to go, and whatever the case may be, and then
you
see motherfuckers. Pump fake. I got a whole play action.
Action.
Let me tell you something. A lot of my college career spent on play action. Like a lot of it. Motherfuckers had no idea. Like if I was single, it was a lot of like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Sometimes if it was a run play, it was a run play. Don't get me wrong. We did that too. We have to do that because it was, whatever the case.
Right.
A lot of play action. Gotta keep you honest. You know what I mean? And then also too, there'll be times you gotta commit to the run. You have to commit to the run. You just being like, we're in a committing to the run season. Like this is committing to the run. And then it's like, let's do some play action. Let's pull some trick plays, boys. Let's pull out some trick plays.
Philly special.
Oh man, sometimes they have their head coach have a conversation with special teams coach. Everything you have. I would have those conversations with myself multiple times a night. Everything I got right now, if I fuck this up one bit, and there was always like a few friends that I had to be extra vigilant around because they're like, "Why do you get the fuck out of my way?"
Always like, so what we get into? Weed.
I don't got no weed right now. I got shit I got to do.
First, nigga, I'm out.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I respect his position on it. And I just want to explain to people why. You know what I mean? I get, we're laughing, we're joking about it, which we should be because I think it is funny now. But people do need to realize what it is and why people give a fuck so much because it's like to you it may not be a big deal. You know what I mean? And yes, was I surprised by like the acceptance from a lot of people? It probably hurts people feeling I'm saying this, but yes, I was. Like, you know what I mean? And it is what it is. So I respect the man.
All right, Josh. So kudos to you. Kudos to Apple and the coverage to step up and embracing all of this that comes forward. And I'm glad for you to be comfortable in your own skin, have your own like this burden lifted off you. So hopefully it makes you into a better man, makes you into a better football player, makes you a better advocate for the culture. So
yeah,
kudos to you, Josh. All right. From the pitch to the ice. Something serious is going on in the NHL.
Is it that thing where they were like making fun? They had like the gay thing up there by somebody's name. Is it this one?
But what?
So I saw something in NHL they were reporting on. I guess like they were like somebody said homophobic slurs, and I guess they were like, I don't know.
Nope. That's okay. This is a little more serious than that.
Okay. Which I don't know how the word gay is a homophobic slur, but that's another conversation.
You're right. 2012.
This is from 2012?
No, it's 2010. I'm sorry. 2010. Okay. The
what year are we in now?
Chicago Blackhawks win Stanley Cup Finals, right?
Okay.
During that season, a player was sexually assaulted by a video coach. Let me continue. The player made several attempts to, warn the team, warn the staff, GM, owner. Nobody cared because they was in the midst of the playoffs trying to get to the Stanley Cup, which they then won. There was a file, case brought up on this where the said player was named under John Doe for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
Then we realized Kyle Beach steps up as that John Doe. Kyle Beach is one of the former players.
Is Kyle Beach like a big name out there, or like really good?
I'm not sure because I don't watch NHL, but nonetheless, he was on this championship team.
Well, yeah, no, and that means nothing. I'm just asking in regards, like I'm just surprised that this was able to. Well, this was able to be like swept under the rug for so long. But I do have a lot of questions. But I guess you have a video, so I'm gonna be quiet and let's watch the video.
Let's watch the video.
Okay.
Interview with the Canadian Sports Network saying he feels great relief, revealing his identity.
Okay.
I want to make sure in any way possible that this does not happen to somebody else.
Former Blackhawks player Kyle Beach revealed on Canadian television tonight he is the John Doe, mentioned in this extensive independent report released by the Blackhawks organization.
Independent.
A great feeling of relief, vindication, and it was no longer my word against everybody else's.
During the Hawks Stanley Cup season in 2010, Beach told team officials this man, video coordinator Brad Aldrich, had sexually assaulted him. The report found the team waited 3 weeks to investigate and allowed Aldrich to continue working, even take.
Yeah. Oh, it gets worse, my friend. It definitely gets worse. But what are some of your takes right now?
Well, one, I was pausing it for YouTube.
Yes, I'm sure.
Because fuck YouTube. And two, obviously we're about to find out in what way was the man sexually assaulted. But
you don't really find out, but you can assume in some regard.
I'm confused just because it's like,
I also had some confusion when I first heard it, and
let's call a spade.
Let's wait till after the clip, though,
because you know I'm about to go.
Yes, I know.
Wait till Park rally.
To see him paraded around, lifting the cup at the parade, at the team pictures, at the celebrations, it made me feel like nothing. It made me feel like I didn't exist.
Beach saying tonight he's speaking out to support other victims of sexual assault.
I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not the only one, male or female. And I buried this for 10 years, 11 years. And it's destroyed me from the inside out.
Jesus.
And I want everybody to know in the sports world and in the world that you're not alone.
Aldrich.
It's about to get spicy, my friend. I'm not laughing because this shit is sick. But
yeah, it's because I'm very interested just in not for nothing. I'm interested in how in how this fellow was able to coerce that felt like how did this happen just because from a physical standpoint,
that's what I was still.
But I do understand people know jujitsu, yada yada yada, shit like that. But then there's certain things, just
But what then to my knowledge is what about like advancements on you multiple times. I understand you could beat somebody's ass, but let's say
because you can get choked out too. So I understand maybe certain trepidation, but what I'm stating is that it's an advancement. They've had to obviously raise in level because no one's going to start out like hot out to try, right? Like, especially if you're trying to hit on somebody, or especially like in this kind of first of all, I am shocked because
wait to the end of the clip. Let's wait to the end of the clip.
Yeah, I got a feeling that a lot of my questions are going to get answered.
Oh, they are, my friend. Stick around.
Eventually resigned from the team in 2010. He returned to his hometown in Michigan, and in 2013 he was charged with criminal sexual conduct with a high school player just 16 years old. Aldrich is now a registered sex offender in the state of Michigan. For Beach, that case weighs on his mind.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't do more when I could to make sure it didn't happen to him, to protect him.
The Hawks releasing a
So before you even reflect on that, excuse me, I did a little bit more added research. After the coach left the Blackhawks, and before he went on to coach that high school team, he was on the U.S. men's national hockey team. Just want to say that he was out there coaching to the standard deemed necessary by the U.S. national hockey team.
He was a coach. What was he? A coach? The video. What
He was a video
again?
coach on the Blackhawks. Don't know his position on the U.S. team, but he was on the U.S. He was part of the staff for the U.S. team. So it almost transcends just the NHL.
My question is how, and what I mean by how is not with the high school. I can, the high school. Unfortunately, I can get how somebody in an authority in a position of power could use their power to influence a young mind. Unfortunately, we've seen that time and time again. I am just confused.
Me too. I thought he's an NHL player. He should be able to slam them. They fight there every day.
This is Jonathan. This is Jonathan Martin to me all over again. And what I mean by that is I don't, and I'm not trying to victim shame. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I'm just stating that I don't understand. There are so many more questions than we have answers. Like the simple fact of, why didn't you just bow the fuck up?
And that's the question I asked.
Bow up.
That's the number one thing. How does this even happen? Because
what are you gonna do to me? But then I guess does the video? Because here's the thing. Because even if this fucker has blackmail, it's like I'm not about to go out. Oh, maybe
playing time. Leverage them for playing time.
I don't know if it was like playing time, but you could really fuck a motherfucker's career up here. You're supposed to be a big burly badass, and you're not the top, and you happen to be a bottom. You happen to be a real bitch bottom, and I happen to have a video of it. And then maybe he didn't want that to get out. But then at the end of the day,
who knows?
I think I would rather beat the shit out of somebody, right? Like I don't get it.
That's you though. That doesn't mean that worked for Kyle Beach. You know what I'm saying? Obviously it didn't.
It didn't. But I guess I'm just trying to get into his mind of what is it? Like, why didn't you just, even if you didn't crush this man physically, right? Why didn't you make sure it wasn't blown up more out of proportion? Because the fact that this happened in 2010.
I mean, because they just won a championship, bro. Everybody else around him was suppressing it. So when you're trying to bring it
the fucking Houston Astros won a fucking goddamn World Series, and didn't they fucking have the unearthed these motherfuckers were cheating?
Yeah, that's
and even
cheating.
If it was
that's
2
different.
or 3
that's
years,
different. That's different.
Even if it was 2 or 3 years later, what I'm saying is that I just don't. There's so many. The reason why I have so many more questions is because there's a lot more to the relationship and the power dynamic between Kyle Beach and this videographer coach or whatever the fuck he was. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's a lot more, because what I'm saying is, regardless, I'm just surprised that this wasn't blown out of proportion more. Yes, it could be for the obvious reasons of he's an NHL player and he didn't want people having these conversations of why didn't he, the big burly guy, crush this guy? Why did he do it? Whatever the case. I understand all that, but what I'm stating is that there's a lot more questions than there's a lot more questions than answers right now, just because I just have so many questions. I'm just like,
And let's get a response from Kyle Beach's former teammate, and who is the captain of the Blackhawks.
To see or read the Kyle Beach interview with TSN, and what are your initial reactions?
I obviously I'm aware of the contents of the report. I haven't read it entirely yet, and just went over briefly some of Kyle's comments just after the game here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he's claiming that everybody on the team knew. We've heard a lot of different things from different players. What are your recollections from that spring of 2010?
Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't wish to exonerate myself from this situation anyway by saying that I didn't know, but the truth is that I had not heard about it until training camp the next year.
What do you think he knows? What do you think he knows?
Not only does he know everything, he's probably, hey,
best buds with the guy.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I would say that he may, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to put anything out there like that, but people can read between the lines.
Right. Because I'm getting, he's giving I know vibes.
Besides I know vibes, he's giving like shell shock vibes. I look at his face. He doesn't seem, he's here, but he's not here. He's trying to distance himself, but he can't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then he's also having a lot of recollection. So especially when he says, I didn't hear about it till next year training camp. That's weird that you would hear about it until next year training camp, especially Los, because you and I are on teams. Mm-hmm. And whenever something big or crazy happens, it doesn't last that night. Motherfuckers can be out and motherfuckers be like, yo, did you hear what happened on campus? But no, what happened? This is what happened with old boy and old girl, whatever the case it be. I remember we had a teammate that our coach had to come pick up and had to take him to his house because some shit happened. Yeah, maybe things were fuzzy around the details of actually what happened, for a few weeks.
We knew.
But motherfucker, you knew that night. Or definitely when you went to the Commons the next morning, you're eating fucking breakfast. Yo, you heard so-and-so got picked up by coach or whatever the case may be, whatever. You're like, yo, what? You're like, yeah. You're like, oh, that shit crazy. So this guy, not only does he know a lot more, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'll leave it at I don't know. Because I don't want to be any kind of, implicated any kind of thing.
It doesn't change what happened. It doesn't take that away. It doesn't, make it go away. So
speaking with
I think they collectively we're as players, guys did know. Hindsight's 2020. I think we wish we could have done something differently, and myself included. At the end of the day, my heart goes out to Kyle for what he dealt with, and
did this guy get drugs?
Done something, and at the end of the day, it's obviously not an excuse looking back, but the truth is, a lot of us were focused on just playing hockey and doing what we're doing every single day, and if you do hear rumors, it's almost just in the back of your mind, and
what are the rumors, though?
I wanted to. That was a perfect point to even stop it at, because if you hear rumors, it's in the back of your mind.
No, it's not. Depending on the rumors, you're kind of like, what the fuck is going on?
He just basically said he knew. If you heard rumors, it's in the back of your mind.
Listen, there are.
So if Kyle Beach came to you and said, yo, allegedly so-and-so touched me, but you in the midst of the playoffs,
you gotta say something, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, it's and then what I mean by that is
what are we doing?
Yeah, like is
the championship
that's my whole
your man's whole fucking freedom?
No, son, your fucking dignity. No fucking nothing is worth your fucking dignity. Nothing is worth your, your being, something that's going against your core principles, especially when it's something that's vulgar and disgusting as that. Like, no, this is fucking hilarious to me. The fact that it's so cavalier. Like, I'm just thinking about, I remember the situation when we were in college, and one of our coaches, I don't know if he left, I don't know if he got dismissed. We still don't know like the trueness behind it, but we know there's a story that's not that I've heard a few versions of it, right? Let's just say the university wouldn't want that to get out allegedly, right? But I once again, I don't know what's true, what's not, right? They handled that shit quick, fast. And then the students, we still don't know fully. Yeah, some people probably do know. Some people like me don't give a fuck, so you never really got the true things. But that was handled fast. So to me, obviously the dude got dismissed, right? But what was so heinous that for him to do something to a grown man that when I'm looking at them physically, he shouldn't be able to do anything with? And then once again, let's just state that he does have some kind of black belt jiu-jitsu knowledge. Well, then listen, there's something called the fucking cops. And you're like, hey, listen, this is what this fucking guy did to me. It sucks. He's a fucking black belt. So this is why, whatever the case may be. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there should be
Simple.
It's very cut and dry. I don't understand. But then maybe once again, I'm speaking of place of privilege because I never had anything like that happen to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Let's see what else he has to say before we shut him off.
Now, when you go through the detail of it all, it looks ugly, and it's really hard to stomach the fact that you don't dive into something like that a little bit more and take it more seriously on the.
Yeah, to me, that's a cop out. To me, I feel like
What is it? What is it? What's this on Kyle Beach? Why are you talking? Go ahead.
To me, I mean, like I said, hearts goes out to Kyle Beach because he's another guy that came out and had to deal with a lot of scrutiny and a lot of courage that it takes to do that. And he's got to deal with a lot because it's basically him versus a whole organization at this point. But it's for the organization's sake, they can easily deflect this because the man did actually end up getting arrested later on. So they could just say he was just this kind of guy. But you can also blame the organization for not knowing when it was actually going on and for not vetting the guy before he even got there, to know what kind of guy was he on, what type of time was he on, so I mean, and I also want to address the fact that this guy was really on the U.S. national hockey team. Like, that is the highest it gets for his position. You know what I'm saying? And to the fact that who knows what happened there? Who knows? Who the fuck knows? What if they went on the Olympics? You know what I mean? And they were in Beijing or Rio or wherever. Who knows what could have happened? That nobody's not stepping up to say. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more people when you go on the Olympics. Different teams, players, whatever.
I'm confused. And the reason I'm confused is because right now I'm looking up like key facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one key fact says, Beach claims he notified team management what happened, but Aldrich still remained with the team. Beach said seeing the non-action by the franchise made him feel like Adric was in the right. He was wrong, and claimed Jim Garrett, the team's former mental skills coach who retired following the 2020-2021 season, told him it had been his fault because he put himself in that situation. What the fuck does that mean? Because we tell women that doesn't mean anything. Like, what the fuck went on? I'm confused. Like,
there's a lot of shit that a lot of people are not saying.
What do they mean put himself in a situation? Like, the whole thing is confused. Obviously we know that this fella did something heinous.
You know what it
but
is.
I'm just like, what was it? Like,
it feels like to me, it's like
was this guy raped? Well, no, this is sexual assault.
It's a sexual assault. So it was some. It had
was
to
he
be something like that. He had to be something like that.
Did they get drunk and then he got taken advantage? Like, what the? Did he get Cosby'd? Like, I'm just very I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just very.
Well, if it was sexual assault, then it could be a rape as well. So we don't know. It could be from the basement to the ceiling. We don't know. But the fact that it happened, it happened. One,
and then the fact that
how do you put yourself in a situation? You're both belong to the same organization. You're saying I put myself into the situation by looking at film. I have to look at film, don't I, to get better? Is it my fault that he's the coach? No. But when I tell you so and so is doing this, it will behoove you as the organization and the management to listen to the players. But I also think Kyle Beach could have did a better stance at this. I know it's in the midst of going for a Stanley Cup. I would have sat out, made it clear. I would have boycotted the game. I would have had a presser.
I have a question.
I would have dropped the bomb.
Let's
call me
examine why.
If you want. If I'm a distraction, if you want.
Let's examine why this would have happened, right? Because Kyle Beach is alluding like, hey, listen, he's thinking that, obviously that guy was in the right, he was in the wrong, whatever the case may be. Do we have some Catholic Church level shit going on in the NHL right now? Is that what I'm hearing?
But
Is that what I'm
that's
saying?
It's,
But and what
it's in terms of secrecy, maybe.
because think of the secrecy, and then look at the mental skills coach. The fact that you had a mental skills coach who just retired last season, and it's just like, yeah, nah, you put yourself in that situation. It is what it is. That is what kind of culture is going on there? I'm confused. What? Because I'm not really well versed in hockey.
Me either.
But
I don't know how they get down. I don't know how they get
How
down.
do you tell somebody, especially in 2021, with all the conversation that you're having right now, right? Especially the conversation that people are having about not only consent, but what's right, what's wrong, things like just things in general, right?
You put yourself in that situation.
That's what they said.
But that's what how do you mean by that? Because I work with this man. Me coming to work, me feeding my family is putting me in that situation. So what does that mean?
Which is the same conversation a lot of women have.
Right.
So, and once again, this does not make the argument invalid. I am so confused on so many behalves. Like, what exactly happened?
And this is why I wanted to bring it up.
And why would Kyle Beach at any point think that he was at fault?
This is why I wanted to bring it up, because when I saw this, I had a lot of questions. And my first question was like, why did you just snuff him? But then I started to dig deeper behind that. Like, what?
That's a very valid question.
Because you know what I mean? That's the first thing. Like, how does it happen? One. And then it's like, why? And then you get back to how, and like, why didn't anybody say anything? You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot of how and why questions. You know what I'm saying? How does this not noticed? Why didn't the coaches say anything? Why wasn't the NHL notified earlier? Why didn't Kyle Beach make more of a thing?
I guess as a man, right? Because we're not talking about a woman now here, right? Like just me speaking as a man, right? If you violate me as a man, I'm gonna take everything from you. I'm gonna violate you. I'm gonna violate you back. So I guess to me, the biggest part I'm trying to wrap my head around is why wasn't the story like, did you hear that Kyle Beach fucking choked this guy out? And everybody's like, what happened? And then the NHL is trying to fucking scramble to fucking put the fires out because this guy, the other guy, the videographer fucking assaulted him. And that was the revenge they got. Like, he got fucking choked out. Like, this is what we want to happen to sexual assault, sexual assaulters. Like, you gotta pay for that in with your pound of flesh. So I guess for me, I'm just like, this whole thing is just more confusing.
Yeah,
because I'm not stating that because obviously we know men can be sexually assaulted, but I'm just more surprised that when you're sexually assaulted from another man, I'm just surprised that the end result isn't like more of like a violent kind of thing. Like, you fucking did what to me? You crazy? What made you think that I was okay with that? Regardless of even if I liked the men or not, because let's just say that Kyle Beach likes dude. Is that it?
We don't know.
Was him and Kyle Beach in a relationship, and then he just took it? And then
we don't know. We don't know. There's so many questions.
You don't want to speculate, but
no,
I'm trying to figure out how he doesn't kick his ass.
And this is why. But I think that's a great time to leave it off. I want to leave people on that mystery of what the hell happened. I want to give people the incentive to go research on their own, because this is some shit that we need to spread light on, and we can't just let this shit go, because NHL did this shit and they let it go for 11 years all over some hardware. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I wanted to definitely highlight these stories today between Josh Carvalho and Kyle Beach, just to let everybody know what's going on in the sports world that we don't talk about, so I want to thank my guy, brother Dean, for coming on the show, Humpday Highlight Show. We back next week. I love y'all. Peace.
Can I leave the people with something before we leave?
Sure.
Sometimes when push comes to shove, and I know that there's a lot of people you don't want to have violence happen. A lot of people haven't gotten into fights, and you don't know what that's like, and you haven't gotten into that kind of stuff. And I'm not telling you to go out there and pick fights, but sometimes you got to be able to, like, you got to stand for yours. You know what I mean? And where there's a will, there's a way. And then practice martial arts, get a weapon. I don't fucking know, but if you're not comfortable within your own skin, wherever you go and wherever you walk, you got to figure it out, because you just got to you you just gotta fight, man. Because I am so confused and so hurt and just like because like like all right, obviously like
we got to wrap it up, buddy. We got to wrap. I know I'm saying you're upset, but we got to wrap it up. We'll talk about it later. Another
Why did
time,
he fight?
He